Thank you. So this will constitute a public hearing, and we're going to go over a bunch of capital and non-capital requests, starting with the fire department. You guys want to start?
Sure. Okay. So we're proposing for $14,995.88 to replace the carpeting in fire headquarters at 28 Blackstone Street. That carpeting is most of it is the original carpeting from 30 years ago when the building was built. So it's done its life and then some. It's a building that's open 24/7, so it gets a lot of activity. The carpeting we're looking at is actually the same as what's here. It's the same company that did the installation on the town hall, and it's going to be the same carpet. So that makes it kind of uniform for the town. Question?
Could you remind everybody how this works? Do we have to get quotes and bids?
They are actually
what
on
are
the
rules?
state. They're on the state bid list.
Okay.
So they have to give us their credentials, their certification. As the deputy said, we went out and had the library done. We actually bid the library out, and the company that won the bid was on the state bid list. They did a great job. So then when we were ready to do our building, we went back to them, and they were able to give us, I think we got 3 prices. When they're on the state bid list, you still have to go out and get, we went out and sought 3 quotes. But
these guys were the lowest.
yeah, they were the lowest, and we were very happy with them.
That's necessarily the best deal.
Yep.
So is that the rule if they're on the state bid?
No,
we need 3 price quotes. How does it, just so that we know how the rule works?
Yeah, if they're on the state bid list, you can in fact secure them. There are times, Mary, when you do have to get multiple quotes for certain services. Is that right?
So under $10,000 is to be used, departments are to use sound business practices. Between 10 and 50 is desirable to get 3 quotes, and over 50 would be to go out to bid.
So even though they're on the state bid list, in fact, we did get quotes for this carpeting, the firm that we used here. But if they are on the state bid list, I don't think technically the fire department needs to solicit any more than.
Right. That is correct, because the state has essentially gone through and done the competitive pricing on behalf of municipalities. They've essentially done the legwork to know that that is a reliable vendor, that they offer competitive pricing. So if they are on the state bid list, the threshold for the procurement requirements becomes a lot easier for departments.
So typically, if you haven't done business with a company and they're on the state bid list, it doesn't hurt to go out and get additional quotes.
Right.
In this particular instance, they're on the state bid list. We've done business with them, and they've been great. 3 separate projects.
So for my benefit, all of the capital and non-capital requests that we have in front of us tonight, who makes sure that all of those requirements have been satisfied, and we're not reviewing something that hasn't met those?
Well,
criteria?
in these particular instances, the vehicles that you're seeing, those are on state bid lists.
Yep.
So, and certainly when they're submitted to finance is going to look to make sure that the contract number from the state bid list is included with those invoices that are submitted. And usually the vendor will actually put them on the invoice when they submit them, so that everybody knows what the pricing is.
So can we be comfortable that everything in here is done in accordance with state contracts, state bidding, and everything meets the internal procedures and requirements?
Yeah, either it has been, or in some instances, obviously the project hasn't been bid yet, or we haven't gone through that process yet. But for these fire and police, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you look on the MHQ quote where it says contract, it says Plymouth County. That's the bid. That's the state. That's the bid list that it's from.
And ultimately, that responsibility, the procedures are met with you.
Finance. When it's submitted to
Finance.
finance, then finance will make sure that that's the case.
All right.
And that's one of the things the auditors look at when they go through the bills, to make sure that there's backup.
I'm just trying to understand what's the finance committee's role in that process.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
No questions on the crop day?
Make a motion.
Anybody have comments or questions on the
Make a
property?
motion if they want.
How do you want to do, you want to do each one?
Yeah, man.
You want to do each one?
Yeah. Make a motion, we approve the amount of 14,000.
So I think is there a motion to recommend the 14,440, 995 and 88 cents for carpet? Is there a motion?
So motion.
Second?
Moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? This item is recommended.
Next one is replacement of car 3. Car 3 is a 2013 Ford Explorer. By the time we get the new vehicle in, it'll have around 80,000 miles on it. As the chief explained earlier, it is not a police package. It was a standard Explorer when we bought it, so it's a regular passenger vehicle, and it's had its share of times. Not only the miles are important here, but the amount of time that the vehicle runs. Because it's a fire prevention car, it also responds to emergencies. There are times that that vehicle is running the whole time it's at an emergency call. So it gets extra wear in that case. So we're looking to replace that. It is will be the oldest car as far as the command vehicles. So we replace that with, at this point, the only one that we've been able to secure has been the Ford Expedition from MHQ. We searched around, we had trouble even getting pricing. It was a struggle with COVID. Vehicles are tough now, and they're not cheap. They keep going up in price. So for that vehicle, the price with all the warning lights from MHQ, $67,509.30. And then we would install the dual band fire mobile radio, which is our two-way fire radio, at $6,153.34 for a total of $73,662.64.
Oh, the radio that's in there now.
It's going on 25 years. It's been moved from vehicle to vehicle,
Okay.
and that vehicle had a water problem. So that radio had its share of issues, which is now, why some have been in good shape. This one, we're not going to keep the radio on this one. This radio will go out. Discontinued. With other vehicles, we're able to swap radios out of them. This one, that radio just doesn't have it. It's had some water damage from a leak in the window before.
Any other additional questions or comments on this request?
No,
I do know that in the past, we've talked about recycling the vehicles. Is this one that could be recycled?
So what we would do is, upon the delivery of the new vehicle, we give this to the town mechanics, let them go through it and make a determination if it's worth saving or if it should be kept. At that point, it can be passed on to somebody else. It'll come out of our fleet. So it's a matter of what the town would like to do with it once we're done with it.
I just want to make sure it's safe to be driven. So we'll give it to DPW. They'll determine if it's safe. If it's safe, then they can disperse it wherever the town would like.
how many cars we got down there?
How many cars do we
Yeah,
have?
we have floating around, the fleet.
I'd be guessing, Joe.
Okay.
Okay, motion to recommend Ford Expedition as presented for $73,662.64. Motion to recommend. Second?
Second.
Comments? Questions? All those in favor, aye.
Just one statement on that.
Opposed?
I'm hoping that we can get either 10 years or 100,000 miles out of them. I mean, those cars, the ones that are built in police packages should be able to get 10 years or
We will the town. We will the
$100,000.
town.
And I think that's the better part, is being able to recycle those and let them have a life beyond us. So, but hopefully we can get a little more life out of the rest of them.
Next, or is it, you have only
That's it.
two
That's
items?
only two things.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks,
Good
guys.
night, thank you.
Thank you.
Can I just ask a quick question?
Yes,
I just wanted to confirm, is the head count for Finance Committee 4 members present tonight? I'm just trying to track the votes.
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you. There's an iPhone connected, I just don't know who that is. Okay, thank you.
where did Joyce go?
Joyce is right. She's on the iPhone.
Joyce, are you on the iPhone?
Sorry, I got muted and didn't realize it. Yes, I might show as an iPhone, yes.
Yes, so we have 4 members. Adam and Joyce are online.
Zoom.
Joe and I are here, so we have a quorum of 4.
Thank you.
What happened to the mileage column?
You're not gonna-
My own, just right in the middle.
Oh, okay. Here it is.
I put the, what we put on at the end of last year.
He's trying to rattle.
Pretty straightforward. I'll let you kind of explain how we're gonna do this and we're gonna rotate. I don't think in 21 years I've sat here and asked for less than 2 cars, so we'll make it quick with a 1-car dance and we'll go from there.
So, the chairman's new, actually, to the board, is that
So
what
we've
it
been
is?
here for what?
Okay, last couple of years, last several years, I've
That's the
been
beard,
talking
too.
about, I've been talking about adding another vehicle to the fleet. And this is the year to do it, if you look at the mileage and stuff, because of COVID and being down so many guys, our mileage is kind of low, and we have the fleet in excellent condition right now. So we want to add a traffic car to the fleet. It's a 2021 Ford utility Explorer, just like we've been getting. Just so you know, also all our folks have the state bid. Plymouth County is for the cruiser, and then the state bid should be highlighted on all your documents for the radio and the computer. So this encompasses, we're asking for $61,139 and 1 cent, or rounded up to $62,000, like Mary likes to do. For the Explorer, new cruiser radio, because it will be additional car, and for an MDT. The new car will be 412. It doesn't show on the fleet inventory because we don't have a 412, but I plugged in the 5 new recruits that are coming out next month out of the academy. So there's new 1 through 5. That's what they would be assigned, the cruises and everything. Kind of shows you how the assignments get filled up and stuff.
Is there just one vehicle?
We're only asking for 1.
Was there 2 in the email that I got the other day?
There was, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I have a typo on my cover sheet, John. It should read 1. I copied that from last year. So I will update that once with the votes from tonight and a couple of other notes, and we'll get that out to you.
So 1 vehicle.
1 vehicle.
Anybody have any comments or questions on this item?
I've got a question here. Okay, the cost, the base cost is 34,000 and change, right? And what's installation, 17,000?
That's all the equipment. The single cell cage, radar unit, everything. It's the lights.
All right, so that comes to 52 and change, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, you've got the money to the rate for the computer, I understand that.
Yep.
And what's the 3354 for?
The 34th, the radio, right?
I don't know, I'm asking you.
No,
Yes.
what are you looking at? Like,
The last one on your the outlay sheet that you submitted to CFO.
oh yeah, the 3354 is the radio.
Okay.
The 5662 is the MDT.
How old is that radio? Because we've been replacing these for a while.
I have, all my cruisers have brand new radios.
Oh, this is a brand new cruiser, so you
This is
gotta have
an
a radio.
additional
Okay,
cruiser,
gotcha.
so we need
Okay.
one. But all the rest of my fleet have all updated.
All in favor, so
radios.
the next time around, we should be able to recycle those radios.
I always recycle them.
Okay.
Any other comments, questions? Motion to recommend the Ford as outlined, $61,139.01. Is there a motion to recommend?
So moved.
Second,
Second,
all those in favor, aye.
aye.
4-0 recommended. Next item.
That's it.
Oh, one item?
That's it. One cruiser. That's it.
Thank you.
When do you expect delivery of this thing?
They're 5 to 10 months behind.
5 to 10 months behind. How are we on manpower? How far behind on manpower are we?
Like I said, we got 5 graduating. We got 4 graduating October 4th and 1 graduating October 20th.
And that brings you up to strength that we're so short.
5 slots still short.
It's still 5 slots short.
And I had 2 out injured too. I just got 1 injury back, so I'm working with the third.
Thank you.
It's not good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Senior Center coming tonight?
Yep.
Yeah,
And
Josie's actually online.
Oh, all right.
This is where it gets weird, right? I wish I
Sorry.
was there.
My bad.
So I'm sure you're looking at the documents in front of you. We're asking, we have 3 air conditioning units at the senior center that were put in when the building was built almost 20 years ago. And one of the units in particular has been causing issues every summer. I've been there for 3 years. I've gone through 3 summers with this unit. And it has been diagnosed with a broken compressor. It functions on 2 compressors. One of them is no longer working, so it kept shorting the whole system. It's since been disconnected, so it's now functioning on 1 compressor, which is not optimal. And so we got a quote to replace the 1 broken compressor, but the companies are suggesting that we replace both because they're pretty sure the other one's going to go as well. We're requesting to replace both of those compressors on that unit.
Total cost is $15,000.
Yes, just under 15,000, but round it up for Mary.
And that 15 includes installation cost.
Correct. Yeah.
Been working with Tim Iaccardi as well, our building commissioner, on this project. And I don't know if that iPhone is Tim. Is that you, Tim?
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's me. I'm on.
Yeah,
There you
Tim's
go.
kind of been coordinating and assisting Josie. I don't know, Tim, if you don't mind, if Tim, anything to add?
Sure. So, like Josie said, there's 3 condensers on the outside. They're original to the building. Each unit has 2 condensers in it, and they alternate back and forth for those zones. So changing just 1 condenser out of 2 doesn't make sense. You're not supposed to do it because it's old and tired now, and it won't be balanced. So they recommend that you change both. There's 2 of them in a unit. So, and that's what we're looking to do, to change 1 of them next year.
Thank God he's here because
So there-
they're compressors. I was calling, or the condensers, and I was calling them compressors.
Tim, I have a question for you.
Sure.
The old ones, I presume, were Freon. What's the new refrigerant going to be? Butane?
Yes, it is. Yep.
Okay.
So it's a 3-year plan, Josie, is that right? Where we'll do 1
Yeah.
package per year. Yeah. And you see
Yeah.
that on the plan. It actually shows,
I don't have that sheet.
yeah.
So are you saying there are 3 units with 2 compressors each?
That is correct.
Correct.
Okay, and we're replacing 2 compressors on 1 unit this year?
Mhm.
Okay,
Under the COA tab,
Yeah.
where you just worked,
Yeah.
there's 3 sheets.
One sheet, one for the
Are you under the COA tab?
That's the library.
No, Council on Aging. The senior center.
Can I ask you a quick question?
yep.
It says on top of the first one to bundle the 3 units for 50,000. Is that a typo or?
Go ahead, Mary.
So when we had received the project requests from the departments, we took a look at this request from Josie, and we were evaluating whether we needed to or whether it made sense to bundle up the 3 projects. As you just heard them talk about, there's 3 units outside of the Council on Aging building. Each one of them has a concern given its age. One of them is failing that we need to deal with right now. And we had some conversations at the time I was putting that schedule together to determine whether we should bundle it. It was through further conversations with Tim, we had decided that right now this is the immediate need, is to focus on this 1 unit, and that the other 2 units we will evaluate next year to determine whether we can take this with in a 3-year plan, or if we're going to be able to get some additional life out of the other 2. So right now we've split that request into those 3 individual units. Josie's only bringing forward the 1 request right now for $15,000 to deal with the 1 unit.
Okay, good. Yeah, I was just curious why the bundle was more than the sum of the parts, that's all. Thank you.
Yeah, sometimes when I'm putting these schedules together, there's a lot of moving parts, and I'm trying to get it to you guys as quickly as possible. And unfortunately, some things change after I've after I've gone to print, if you will.
So-
Is this related? Did we not look at this last year and also, but discuss maybe rolling it in with the heat, or was that the library, not the Council on Aging?
Library.
we
You're absolutely right, Joyce. The library brought forth a project proposal last year where we did separate out the HVAC, and that is on their plan for a future year that you'll see in front of you.
Thank
But
you
we
very
did-
much. All right, I just couldn't remember whether it was Council on Aging or library.
So, could I ask a question? To Adam's comment, in the upper right-hand corner, it says bundle 3 units, $50,000. I should cross that out. Is that correct?
That's correct. Cross that out. That's my handwriting.
Any other comments or questions?
No.
Motion to recommend $15,000 to replace 2 compressors. Council on Aging recommendation.
So moved.
Second,
Second,
all those in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Recommended 4-0. Still 4-0, is that right? Tina?
Yeah.
Nobody else is joining
Yeah,
the vote?
Kevin
Okay,
said he'd be here,
so
but
next item?
I think that's all that the senior center has.
That's the only item?
That's the only item you have.
Yeah, all other items are for future.
Is it just-
Okay.
Just 1 item?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Josie.
Thank you.
Mary, you have additional departments?
I'm not here to present the specific requirements for additional departments. I think what we need to do is talk about the additional departments that need to be scheduled to come before the Finance Committee. According to my notes, we still have the, let me grab it. The DPW department where Dawn will encompass not only the DPW department itself, but also water, sewer, trash, and new this year will be stormwater. So we need to set up an appointment with Dawn to go through his requests, as well as an appointment with the school department. They have a number of capital requests. And I know that we did try to get the library in this evening, but there was a scheduling conflict. And we would like to have Bernadette come before you guys to present her requests as well.
Okay, so Tina, when do we have that scheduled?
So that was to go over with you tonight because we have capital improvement meeting October 4th. I don't know if you want to meet after capital meets with all the departments, or do you want to have another finance meeting prior to that?
That is, how critical is this? We get it done like as soon as possible.
For,
DPW, water, sewer, trash.
no, I don't think it needs to be done immediately. I think if we've got time, we're in good
You should
shape.
have time.
Yeah. And if I may weigh in briefly, I think it would be good if we could have capital to start to take a look at a couple of these items. And it's not time critical at this juncture because I'm still in the process right now of calculating available retained earnings and free cash, which I think will become critically important as we talk about water, sewer, trash, and stormwater projects with Mr. DiMartino. So my recommendation would be to meet after capital meets on the 4th of October.
So the following Monday, the 11th, is Columbus weekend. So that will, with town hall won't be open that Monday. Don't know if you want to go back as far as the 18th, or do you want to try for another night during the week after the 4th?
Capital is meeting on the 4th, at what time?
Monday the 4th at 5, but selectmen are on at 7.
At 5? And what's at 7?
Select board.
Do you want to try to do it the same night?
I was gonna say, you could do a joint, you've done joint meetings before. I don't know what you think about that, since several, obviously, the capital improvements committee consists of a couple of your members as well.
Or we can do it right after capital meets.
The same night, we wouldn't have time because the selectmen, Don might take a little bit of time, and the schools might take a little bit of time. I don't know if we fit everybody on the select board at 7. It'd be a little-
Part of my, I'll just throw out one small consideration. Some of the items that are listed on this capital schedule are items that are under 50, which the finance committee evaluates, but the capital committee does not. So it might make sense to do 2 separate meetings so that some folks are not having to evaluate projects that they're not going to make recommendations on.
Thank you.
You don't think there'd be enough time to do it from 6 to 7? Same night on the 4th?
Not with DPW in school.
The school DPW probably take a whole 2 hours.
Could we do Tuesday?
What day? I'm sorry?
Could we, is there a Tuesday of that week or a Wednesday a week, that week that would have availability?
I have Board of Health on that Tuesday, but I'm free the Wednesday if the rest of
The 6th?
the 6th.
If you do it early at 5:30, that's fine, because conservation, I think, meets at 7. And
I don't have conservation on the schedule.
no, I'm just saying, conservation, I don't think they're using this room yet anyway, so we should be good if you.
On the 6th?
On the Wednesday, yeah.
Yep, I'm fine with that.
Mary, was
Adam, is
that,
that okay with you? 5:30?
The 6th works, yeah, I can't do the 4th.
And you're gonna do 5:30?
we'll do 5:30. I just gotta check with Mary. I don't see her on there. Oh, no, I do. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
and then you
I
have
can do that if it's okay that I do it remotely. I have to be somewhere at 4. If you guys are okay with that, I'll try to change my schedule, but yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're gonna do DPW and all of the water, sewer, trash, stormwater on the same night
Yes.
with school and library?
That's what I'm gonna try to do for that Wednesday.
I'd go for it.
That'll work?
Yeah, and
Okay.
I'm pretty sure conservation is still doing everything virtually, so the room's
Well,
open.
conservation has the following week written on here. They have the
Okay,
13th.
good, so they're not even going to be in here, then you don't have to
Yeah,
worry about
they
that.
have the 13th and 27th.
So the room's open. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So next is review draft of town warrant.
It's just a draft.
This is the first time I see it.
Okay.
If it was online, I missed it.
No, it's not signed yet, so it's not online yet.
You know it is.
Hey, John,
Yes?
Okay.
I just wanted to mention in advance while you're talking about the schedule that that night of the town meeting, I'm not going to be available. So I just want to make sure for planning purposes, I know you sometimes have some votes prior to the meeting.
Adam saying he won't be in attendance at town meeting.
Wrap it up.
So we have to make sure we have a quorum
Right.
before. All right, yep. We'll make sure we.
Yeah, I had a flight out the next day and it got canceled, so I have to fly out that night.
Okay. November 17th.
Yeah, it has not been signed yet, the warrant.
Yeah, November 17th. Yeah, it's just a draft. Hillary gave me the updated draft on Friday, but it hasn't been sent as such yet. I believe it's still in review with town council.
It is, yeah. The board intends to sign it at their next meeting, but there won't be any additional articles. as it stands now.
This is a pretty straightforward warrant. There's not a lot of
No, I don't even have to hold the,
items on it. Okay. You-
no rotating.
There were a lot of capital requests for future years in the email that was circulated.
Right.
Has there been any type of hearing, a public hearing, or public meeting on those requests yet?
Not yet, no. Not for future years, no.
Not, will there be one, do you think?
I think that would be the capital improvements committee that would do that, take a look at it as opposed to, and that's why the plan, it's updated constantly to have a 5-year plan, but it would make sense that the capital improvements committee.
There were
would do it.
some big numbers on there,
Yep.
like items. Is that something the Board of Selectmen would also have a meeting on?
They'll certainly get a copy of it, whether or not they'll hold a hearing on it, I can't say.
Okay. Because I was surprised there were so many things on there, and I thought there might be one meeting to present all of those items.
Yeah, we've been encouraging departments to put it all out there
Okay,
as opposed to, just focusing on the current year. So I
Okay.
know Mary's been working hard with them to try and get a 5-year plan that really reflects what departments think
there's
they
some big
need.
numbers in there for next year.
Sure, yeah. And there were big numbers for this year, and a lot of them will move to next year. And,
Okay.
based on financing and how urgent the need is.
So I had no idea what we were gonna be voting on tonight when I saw that
Right.
email the last couple of days,
Yep.
because I thought we were gonna be here a long time.
Yeah.
Okay,
On this draft, the warrant article 8, Larry, the town clerk, contacted me on Friday. He didn't know if you were gonna, he's a petitioner for Article 8. He didn't know if you were gonna require him in a meeting.
has there been a public hearing on Article 8, a formal public hearing?
No.
There hasn't been. Will there be?
I don't believe so. That's the Airbnb or the VRBO.
Yeah,
So it
zoning
would be-
bylaw relative to short-term leasing.
It is zoning, is that what it's proposed at? Because if it's zoning, then the planning board, I believe, would hold
I
a
would-
hearing on
Think so, but it doesn't say anything here about zoning.
it. Yeah, I don't have it in front of me. So
I think it's just a general bylaw change.
Yeah, then it would just be your board that would hold the hearing on it.
So if there's no public hearing, then we have to have a public hearing on that. So Larry would have to come in. So why don't we, since it doesn't say this.
It's-
on here.
It's looking for a zoning bylaw change.
Yep,
If it's a zoning bylaw change, then I believe the planning board would hold a hearing on it.
It's definitely a zoning bylaw change.
Yeah, it's not a change, it's a new regulation that's proposed.
You want to add it?
we'll vote to add a zoning bylaw. Okay. So let's do it that way. If there's no talk of a public hearing, then the finance committee has to have a public hearing. So
Okay.
try to work it onto
I'll
the
check with
schedule with
planning.
Larry.
Okay, I'll check with planning and then Larry.
Okay. Okay. Does anybody have any other comments, questions?
The minutes.
We have the
New
minutes from the
business,
July 6th meeting.
new business, emails, correspondence. Do we have any invoices or bills?
I have invoices for myself. And The only other thing on there was to establish the meeting dates. But we did that. Yeah, it should be July, August, and September.
Okay, motion to approve the monthly invoice, $318.32 for month of August, month of September, and month of July. Motion
So
to
moved.
second.
Second,
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So the
Aye.
three invoices are approved. You need just one signature of mine or more?
Just yours.
Did everybody get a chance to review the minutes of the July 6th meeting? Does anybody have any comments or changes? Joe, Adam, Joyce?
No.
Motion, let's see, who is? So Adam, we can't vote. We only have 3 people here. Adam, you weren't at that meeting, it says.
that's right.
So we only have 3 people. We'll have to vote on this the next meeting. Okay. Postpone that. And the next meeting is October 6th at 5:30. Any other business comments before we adjourn?
No.
Motion to adjourn at 6:07 PM. So moved. Second. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is adjourned at 6:07.
Thank you, everyone.